Welcome to everybody. You have logged in because you're interested in study abroad. But today we are also speaking about something which will be relevant to you even if you're not studying abroad. So this is a much more generic session. It's on the CV versus profile, creating a brand for yourself. I'm Dr. Maina Chawla Singh. I've been a professor, a syllabus designer. I have designed courses in liberal arts. I have trained teachers. I have taught at universities in India and for many years at universities overseas. The last one being a 9-year stint teaching at the American University and Georgetown in USA. So what is different about a session like this, which is on CV versus profile? You know that there's so much material available on YouTube, online, and so many of your teachers and counselors would have taught you how to do a CV and profile. So what is different? So I would like to say that today I'm presenting to you a professor's perspective. I have been through several dozens of applications that would come from different parts of the world. When I was teaching in the US, I have looked at those applications which were part of the admission process. So I'm presenting to you from a lens from the other side. What do these applications look like? Who does one want to see? What do you want to see? What do we at the other end want to see in a CV and a profile? And I want to share some of those things with you so that as you prepare your CVs and your profiles, you can look at the differences. So this is being hosted on behalf of Leverage Edu, which is India's top ranking university admissions service. We have a network of thousands of amazing counselors that help you in your journey as you dream and think about a university that you want to go to overseas and help you through the process of getting to that point. The services that Leverage Edu offers will help you through the selection process, will help you to find the right fit, have the psychometric tests and the goal setting. And after that, you will be in the hands of an excellent coach who will walk you through that process till you get admitted. So this is what we do. So welcome to this session. I'm presenting here a professor's perspective, an educator's perspective with a wide international experience of having looked at incoming applications. So my lens is the lens from the side of the assessment of those applications for assessment, for admission, sorry. So the keywords today for us are CV, profile, SOP, and personal statement. Now, there can be some confusion about the differences in these. I want to say that there are many universities which will not require you to do a different SOP from a personal statement. A personal essay will be just a personal essay. A statement of purpose will be a little bit different. And that's what I'm going to do today, is speak to you mainly about that. I will spend a very short time on talking about the CV because there are hundreds of online templates that you can find. It's much easier to get guidance on how to put a CV together. But it's much more difficult to be able to create and shape and to edit a really wonderful profile or SOP or a personal statement or a personal essay. Not all universities will ask for those things separately. For example, the University of Michigan wants both separately. There are many universities in UK that will be okay with that one SOP in which you can also add your own personal reasons for wanting to be there. So they're going to be different. And I'm not going to generalize here. I'm just going to say you need to see very carefully what those requirements are. And then when you are crafting that personal statement or when you're crafting that profile, you should keep in mind some of the things that I'm going to share with you. So what is this? Let's get the CV out of the way. So the CV, as you know, is a resume. That E is pronounced like a French E. It's not resume, it's resume. So a CV is a resume which basically lists all the experiences chronologically. Remember that you begin backward. You don't begin with when you were at nursery school. You actually begin with where you are now and work backwards. And you focus basically on accomplishments, on the responsibilities that you have been entrusted with. You list the experiences. You focus on your academic credentials, the courses that you did, the trainings that you have done, certifications, any fellowships, awards, honors, work experience, any kind of work experience. Have you been volunteering with a community around your house? Have you been doing any community support? All of that can be listed in your work experience. So what is a resume? It's basically just a list. It's a summary. And the content is straightforward. You just have to document all of those things. I have just a couple of tips about that. One, don't forget that the style and the formatting are extremely important. Why is that? Your CV is going to be in front of somebody who is going to offer you a job or a fellowship or whatever prospects. It needs to look pleasant. It needs to look clean, crisp, well formatted, margins, whatever the bullets. You don't have to decorate it, but it has to be smart looking. It has to be well laid out, and you should be able to find a template which is not fussy and complicated, but is just very simple and very clear and easy to read. Choose a font that's going to be easy to read, a size of font that's going to be easy to read. Don't worry too much about length. It doesn't matter how long or how short. If it's too detailed and too boring, that's going to bore the other person. If you are a senior person already, don't go back into where you were in middle school. About 10 years is enough. 10 to 15 years is maximum if you are already a senior person who is looking back. So when you find a professor's CV or a scientist's CV, they probably won't talk about what they were doing in school. So I have a couple of alerts for you. The CV is job related. It has a very specific career focus, which is why you need to tweak it every time you send it to an employer. Why? If you're applying to a particular industry, they want to know what you know about that industry. So you need to highlight. So remember that you need to think about it, think about where it's going. So you need to tweak it every time. Please don't keep a standard document that you just push every time. It doesn't look so good. It doesn't highlight what you really want to highlight. So tweak it. That's my tip. Tweak the CV as per job, as per need. Second tip, keep updating it. Just like you're updating your status on social media, don't forget to update your CV. The last activity, the last conference, the last certification, the last course, you must have that. All right, so this is what I have to say as the little additional tips about doing a CV. So what is a CV? It's basically about what you know and what you did. It doesn't have any self-reflection. What do I mean by that? You haven't thought about what you did. We don't know how you felt about what you did or how you feel about doing something else in the future. So this is where a profile comes in. Your profile is not your CV. Your profile is not a list. The profile is self-reflection. It's about what you think, what you believe, what you aspire to, and what you plan to do. So a CV should basically say, if a CV says, hire me, then a profile should say, know me and like me. So that's what your profile is going to do. So I want to say a little bit now about the SOP and the personal statement. Now, schools will be different in their requirements. For example, the University of California system needs both, which means they need it separately. But in some cases, they will be interchangeable. So I will reiterate what I said earlier. Look at the requirements in that website for applications. It's extremely important. So let's look at the SOP, because I do want to spend a little time on differentiating between the two of them. Even if you have to blend things for both, that will be easier than figuring out what should go into one, what should not go into the other. So a little bit of the pointers. The SOP is basically your statement of purpose. What does that mean? It's your intent. My statement of what my purpose is. What is my purpose for the future? What is my vision for myself? So it's really about the academic and the achievements, the research interests, and figuring out how you can persuade the admissions committee that it is aligned with the program. So here are some questions that you should ask yourself for that. And the answers to those will give me an SOP that I'm looking for. Okay, so your first question will be, why am I doing this? And from why am I doing this, you're going to get your future goals. Okay, then you're going to say, what drives me? What drives me? Do I want to make a difference? Do I want to extend research? Do I want to become an entrepreneur? Do I want to become a web developer? Do I want to go into fintech, edutech, edfin, whatever that is? So what drives me is going to be that intention. That's when you're going to relate this program. This program that I'm writing, I'm applying for, is the perfect fit for me. How are you going to do that? You're going to look at the website and you're going to find what that program emphasizes. What does it offer? Opportunities, internships, industry connect, certain annual events where you can do networking, certain small classes. What does it offer? And then you're going to put that into how you relate your own ability, capability, and fitness for that program. So when I'm looking at that statement of purpose, what am I going to look for? I'm going to say, do you know us? You've told me who you are, what you want to do. And I'm going to say, do you know us? Have you taken the trouble to do some research about who we are at this university? Then I'm going to wonder, how well do you know us? Did you look at the website? Did you look at our mission statement? How does it relate with what you're thinking? Do you like the fact that we are equal opportunity institution? Do you like the inclusiveness? Do you like the cosmopolitanism? What do you like? So do you know us? How well do you know us? And the third question, what do you like about us? So when you write answers to those three questions, you will have a perfect rationale for saying, I'm ready for this. Something to add there. Research the program. Take a deep look, deep dive into what that research program is all about. If it's a course of study, if it's a school in a university, look at what it offers. What are the courses that jump at you? Pick out those two names of two courses and say, I'm particularly attracted by these two courses. I also admire the work of so-and-so professor. What does that tell me? It tells me that you have been digging deep into who we are as an institution. And you have taken a look at what we offer. You have taken a look at who are our faculty, and you find that compelling. So that makes your case very persuasive when the admission committee is looking at your papers. So pick out the courses, pick out the names of some courses, pick out the names of some professors, but be authentic, be honest. Don't pick up a Nobel Prize recipient and say, I'm going to do astrophysics when actually you're starting an undergrad program. So be careful about that. Make your case convincing. Take a look at whatever opportunities they offer and whatever the emphasis of the program is. Basically, you get what I'm trying to say, that you are going to see how the details of that program resonate with you, and you have to build a case so that sitting at the other end, I look at this application and say, yes, you know us and you have been looking deeply into what we do and you like what we do. So that's a very good start for looking at this person and to bring them in. Now I want to come to the more personal statement. In some ways, the personal statement requires more effort. Why do I say this? Because when you're writing the statement of purpose, you're still looking at how you fit into a certain intellectual climate, a certain ethos, what is taught there and what you're willing to learn. So it speaks about your vision, your purpose, what you want to do, what you want to become. The personal statement is much deeper. It's about who you are. From that statement, I should be able to read and actually almost meet a person. Who are you? What are your motivations? What are the things that move you? What are the passions that drive you? And in that, to find how this program is compelling. So I want to know, let me go a little bit deeper into this. It's difficult to plan the personal statement, but I want to say that it takes time and you need to sit back and think. Here are a few pointers. Think about your experiences. Who inspired you? Was it a music teacher? Was it a maths teacher? Was it a language teacher? Was it a sports coach? Maybe you are not going to do what they were teaching, but maybe there was a value they taught you. Maybe playing in a game where you were not so good taught you perseverance, that you would keep at it and you would learn. It was a hardship. You decided that you would still do well. Were you challenged because your family was moving all the time? What did that tell you? That stability is not available all the time. Did that make you stronger? Did that make you more patient? Did that make you better at adjusting to new environments? So think, think, think. Who inspired you? Was it a mentor? Was it a circumstance that changed your perspective? Did you move to a new place and suddenly learn that you are an outsider? How did that feel? Did that change you and make you a better person? Was there a challenge in your life when there was health issues, family issues? Was there a disability? Was there an injury? Was there an accident? Any of those things. We don't want to know what happened to you. We want to know what you learned from it. How did that change you? Why is that important? When I'm looking at an application and you mention an incident and you show me that it was something that shook everything in your life, I only want to know what you learned from it. Therefore, your spin on that must be positive. I want to be able to see how personal aspects of your identity have shaped you. There should be something compelling about the story you tell about yourself. So I want to say, don't get too carried away about creating stories that are too dramatic, because people at the other end are seeing hundreds of applications. They can actually tell when something is overdone or over dramatic, or the words that are used are really like out of a thesaurus or a dictionary. We know that it's not from a young student. So be authentic, be honest, think about it. Don't be in a rush. Speak to friends, speak to family and say, remember that incident. What do you think happened? Or just talk to yourself and try to think of any of those things. So again, it's about who you are. So in a college, I want to say that profile, the personal essay is going to be important at many different stages in your life. I've supported students who have done, say, 3 years at Ernst & Young or 4 years at McKinsey in the US, and then they wanted to go to Yale Business School or Harvard Business School. And they really had to think about what that essay was going to be. Where was it going to start? Was it going to start with the grandfather who made the first leap before you as a family became successful to even think about Harvard? Where was that changing? Where was that changing happening in your family? Where was change happening for you? And how did you become a person who embraced that change and created it into a strength? So those are the sorts of issues. When we look at your profile, we should be able to see very specifically how you relate to who we are. Through the profile where you share incidents or the story that is the hook, then we should be able to see why the story and the lessons from that story are actually communicating themselves to who we are as an institution. So I'm trying to show you that your profile and your whatever application materials are, they are a bridge. They are a bridge between you, the applicant, and the admissions committee, which is looking at hundreds of applications. So it should be something that you will write and think about and edit and proofread and share with friends, get feedback and work on it till it is a perfect essay within the word length. Okay. So there are other things that I will add to the idea of the personal statement or the personal essay, because I think it can be a deal breaker. It can actually be a deal maker, because sometimes your grades may not be so good, your scores may not be so good, and then somebody will read your personal essay and say, this is a fantastic young woman or man. They did something at a particular point in their lives which makes them different. So be creative. Think creatively about what you can talk about. We don't just need hard luck stories about how things were tough for you. We need a challenge that shook you, that made you think. It could be anything. It could be anything. It doesn't have to be financial adversity. It can be anything. So think about that. It should also be self-reflexive. Self-reflexive is the ability to think about thinking, is to think about yourself thinking, to analyze your own thought process so that you're able to reflect on what you have experienced. We can all talk about what we've experienced. The next level of thinking is the critical thinking we do, which is, I'm feeling like this. What does that say about me? So go back in time, think of those incidents, be self-reflexive, and think about what you were thinking and what you began to think after that. So let me say something here about the tone. We need a positive spin on whatever challenge you faced. Nobody wants to bring in a student or a young employee who has just been, losing their spirit or losing their optimism. So you need to have an optimist, but realistic, not too optimistic to say everything can work out perfectly all the time, because this is me. Be confident, but not boastful. Be self-reflexive, again and again, is something I'm going to say. Because why is it important? Because it shows me that you have thought about the hardships you faced and you found solutions to them, that you were a problem solver. That's the person I want in my class. So personal challenges or barriers that you have overcome in recent years might relate to career, school, health, money, but your strategy to overcome them, that is what I want to see. Then I want to say finally that I want to see a student who is someone who is very attentive to details. So whatever the material you're submitting, whether it's an SOP, a personal statement, personal essay, even a CV, do not skip instructions. Do not overdo the word limit. Don't go over that. Be authentic, be honest, so that you're not a bland person, so that you're somebody who comes across in the essay that you're writing. So I'll give you an example. For example, if you're talking about a mentor, you can just say, I developed an interest in data science after taking an introductory class in college. And then you can say, I was taught by so-and-so. And these were the topics I liked. And this is what relates to what I'm doing now. And again, be honest, no myth making, no extra hard words. We are also looking at writing skills. So make sure that there are no awkward phrases, no Indian English phrases, which can be a problem. Ask somebody to proofread and give you feedback. No typos, edit, edit, edit. Okay, so I have a few final tips about handling all of these things. Read the instructions carefully, use very specific details, be authentic, edit, and proofread. And now, because this content may have been quite a lot, I'm going to share with you 3 slides which just do a recap of this. So be with me and I will be with you here looking at those slides. Here we go. So these are a way of recapping a few things that I have said in this session. So we have this SOP versus the personal essay or the profile. So the statement of purpose reflects your future goals. Please dig deep into the website, study the program and the professors, show what you bring to that program. Weave in your accomplishments, prior studies, certificates, and your enthusiasm. In the personal statement, tell us a story. Focus on personal motivations. What do you care about? Values, social issues. What do you care about? What are your beliefs? How has your journey been so far? What are the challenges in that journey? One or two maybe, and you want to tell us about them. What are the weaknesses you are aware of? And what are the steps that you have taken to overcome those? You see the next one? The questions that are helpful to ask when doing a personal essay or a profile. I want to see in that essay, who are you as a person? What is your dream? What is your journey? What has shaped you? Who has inspired you? What has challenged you? And how did you overcome that challenge? Why are you applying to this program? And how will this further your dreams and your aspirations? And I have one final slide. So if the CV is about hire me, then the profile is about know me, like me, and want me around. So with that, we come to the end of this, and I hope that this was helpful. For more questions, you know that you can avail of a 30-minute free counseling session with Leverage Edu. You can find us on all the social media handles. You can DM us, you can call us. We are on Insta, Facebook Live, where you are now. And all of these videos are going to be uploaded on our YouTube channel. The good news is that very recently, Leverage Edu has launched a huge scholarship fund of 5 crores. So if you are interested in one of those scholarships, then get on with it, apply, check your eligibility, and we would love to see you at leverage.edu. Thank you. Bye-bye, and good luck.